Please stay with us, Daniel and Sol. Now we'll stay on this topic. U.S. President Donald Trump has met with the deceased hostages' parents at the Knesset in Jerusalem on the day when 20 surviving hostages were released from Hamas's captivity. President Trump has traveled to Israel to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and addressed its parliament as Hamas handed over all 20 surviving hostages to Israel. The handover of Israeli hostages is a key step in ending 2 years of ruinous war in Gaza under a ceasefire deal engineered by President Trump. Now we go back to our guest discussion with Daniel Wagner, CEO of Country Risk Solutions, and Sol Sotka, he's a security analyst and author. Sol, now I would like to start with you. Can you tell us the current state? Are every hostages back now, and who still remain? And are the families happy, like getting them back?
It's not just the families that are happy. The entire country, as I walk in the streets and I watch the helicopters flying past my window and landing at the local hospital, bringing the hostages directly out of Gaza where they've been held for 2 years. The entire country is elated and relieved. There was almost nobody here in this country of a population of 10.5 million who didn't have some connection to somebody who was killed or wounded or taken hostage on that day. So the entire country feels very relieved. The entire country's been essentially working together in a war mode for 2 years, and that feels like it's over, although as Daniel correctly points out, I've no doubt there will be some wrinkles. Although at the same time, I think it is correct, like Trump and Netanyahu both call it, to call this the end of the war. There no doubt will be further battles, but the war really is over today. The families, of course, are delighted. They've been waiting, they've been fighting to get their families back. They've been public, many of them. They've had different views. There were different views among the hostage families. Some felt that a more vocal perspective was the correct one. Some felt that staying quiet and working behind the scenes was the correct one. And certainly none of us can judge them looking back. But for these 20, the final 20, it ended well. And apart from a few, I think it's something like 7 or 8 who died in captivity, murdered by their captors. All the hostages that were taken alive into Gaza are coming back alive. The vast majority of the ones who were taken alive are coming back alive. But of course, Hamas also took hostage a large number of bodies, about 70 or 80 bodies, to use them as leverage. And hopefully over the next 24 hours, 28 bodies will be returning too. We're waiting to see.
Yes, we'll be eyeing that in this channel. So thank you for giving us the update on that. And now I would like to go to Daniel. Daniel, can you give us this background of the ratio difference between the Israeli hostage, who are 20 people who have been sent back alive, and then Palestinian hostages, not hostages, sorry, but the prisoners who are in thousands or around 2,000. Why is this so different, the numbers here?
Well, first of all, because there are many more Palestinian prisoners. But if you go back and you look at the ratio in the past of these prisoner swaps, you'll see that many, many times there have been dozens or scores or even hundreds of prisoners given by the Israelis back for a single hostage. And that being the case, it's become normalized. I don't think we should be too surprised that this has happened. I think that this is also, a component of the potential future risk. The idea that some of the most prized prisoners that Israel had captured from among Hamas and other opposition ranks is being released back, in some cases to Gaza, in other cases to other countries. But they're out there again, and they are bound and determined to cause trouble again, I would imagine. Very few of them, I would think, have been completely reformed and completely renounced their hatred of Israel. So I think that's another component of the unknown unknowns with this deal.
Right. With that, I would like to thank both our guests. Please stay with us as we stay on this topic now. Meanwhile, Israeli opposition leader Yair Lapid took to the stage at the Israeli parliament right after a moment where President Donald Trump believed he was next in line to speak and jokingly called him to the podium, saying, "Come on, opposition." Lapid has thanked President Trump for saving the lives of the hostages and added that both nations' futures are intertwined with an eternal alliance. U.S. President Donald Trump, while addressing the parliament, was also interrupted by two Israeli Knesset members who were later expelled for disrupting his speech. Let's listen in to what Yair Lapid has said.
הגיע הזמן לסיים את המלחמה בעזה. לעשות עסקת חטופים ולסיים את המלחמה. למדינת ישראל, לביטחון ישראל, לא צומחת כבר שום תועלת מהמשך המלחמה. רק נזק. נזק ביטחוני, נזק מדיני, נזק כלכלי. זוהי גם עמדת הצבא. הרמטכ"ל אייל זמיר הופיע אתמול בפני הקבינט ואמר על עזה, הדרג המדיני צריך להחליט מה היעד הבא. משמעות המשפט הזה היא של הצבא.
Now we stay on this topic. Over 20 world leaders are set to meet in the Egypt's Red Sea resort city of Sharm el-Sheikh to mark the first stage of the ceasefire between